This is calling from Pythagoras Consult. Basically, mathematics. Want to go into mathematics for JSS3, and the topic is compound interest. Compound interest is such interesting topic that has passed through first stage, the stage of simple interest. They must have done that in JSS2. So compound interest, uh, we could have we have two methods or two approaches. On before okay, let me just go. Two method we have. We could use simple interest method, simple interest method, or we use amount method, amount method. So these are two ways of looking for simple interest. Of course, compound interest. Of course, we have let us to know that the terms under it, like the principal, we said is the amount deposited or loaned or borrowed. We said amount, we have done that amount deposited or borrowed. Fine. We talk about time. Time is period of the yeah period of the money. Period of is either returning period of returning the money or period it's used in the bank. And we have rate, that is the percentage of the interest. Now, percentage of the interest. So these are things that we deal with. So let's now give example, then we'll see how it goes. Example, they said if a man deposited 200,000 in the bank for 2 years, at 10% interest per annum. 10%, sorry, compound interest per annum, is it? Compound interest per annum. So, then I said, find its compound, find its compound interest after the second year. So now let's look at this question. We want to look for the compound interest. Now let me use the first method that I called simple interest method to look for compound interest. We call it simple interest method. And this method is just calculating it year by year. So I'll start from the first year. So first year, we all know that simple interest is principal times time times rate, which is all over 100. The rate carry the 100. So let's move. We are going to have our interest to be 200,000, which is our principal, multiply by what's our time? 2 years, but now it's first year, we are going to use 1 year. Then multiply by our rate 10%. And that will give us this 20 goes for 2, this 20. 1 times 2, that's mean 2. The zeros now, I count all the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it's what? That's 20,000. So first year, the person will have 20,000. Now, since it's compound interest, I will have new principal. And that will serve as my amount. And under simple interest, amount is equals to principal plus what? Interest. Principal plus interest. So, and that will now give me my principal is 200,000. Add to the interest of that year, 20,000. And that will give me 000. Of course, 0 to 220,000. So this amount that I have in bank now will now be my new principal. My new principal for the second year. Now let me go to the second year now. Second year we still use interest is equals to PTR all over 100. Now my interest will now be new principal that I will now make use of 220,000. The time will still be 1 year because I'm calculating it per year. 1 year. Mind you, they gave me 2 years. This is the first year, this is the second year, but I will not use 2 years, I will use 1 year. Multiply by the rate, which is still 10 all over what? 100. And that gives me this 20 cancel this. 1 times 22 remain 22. They count all the 0 together because it's multiplication. 1, 2, 3. So the new interest now is now 22,000. Then I now sort for let's see the amount. My amount is principal times plus interest. So my last principal is 220,000. I add it to what? 22,000. And that gives me 000. This gives me 242. So this is the amount that I have in the bank. But my compound interest will now be equals to the interest of the first year. What is the interest of the first year? I have this interest of the 20,000 plus the interest of the second year, which is 22,000. So my compound interest will now be 42,000. My compound interest will be 42,000, of which I can still get this. If I didn't add the interest of the both year, I can get it by saying finally, this is my amount. I'll subtract it from my principal, my initial principal. So it could be compound interest. Compound interest will be equals to amount that I got at the end minus initial principal. Of course, it will still give us the same. My amount that I got that is 242,000. Subtract the initial principal is what? 200,000. And this will give me 42,000. It's now the same thing with this compound interest. It's the same thing with this compound interest. So the second method. We call it method amount method. amount method. This amount method, it is the method that you make use of some formulas, a formula that has been put together, and it's for actually for amount of under compound interest. It's going to be principal open bracket 1 plus rate all over n. So here now we already know principal. We know P to be principal, 1, this is not I1, and we know rate. It's only n that we don't know what it means, the years, n. So I want to apply it there. So amount now is equals to, my principal according to that question is what? According to the question is 200,000. 1 add to, my rate is 10%, and n is 2 years, since n stands for number of years. So 200,000, so this one is 0 cancel 0, it will be 1 over 10. Of course, if I look for the LCM, this one will be over 1. 1 in 10, that's 10. 10 times 1, 10 plus 10 in 10, 1. 1 times 1, 1 raised to power 2. That's 200,000. This will give me 11 over 10 raised to power 2. The meaning is that 200,000 times this one in 2 places, 10 11 over 10 times 11 over 10. So this one over 1. Then I can now divide. This is 0 cancel, this is 0. This is 0 cancel, this is 0. Denominator will cut numerator. Of course, we have remaining words here now, 2,000. 2,000. 2,000 multiplied by 11 multiplied by 11. All this one has become 1. And 11 times 11, that's 121. So 2,000 times 121. So 121 times 2, I'll keep this is 0. 2 times 1 give me 2. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 1, 2. Then the 0. Let's see, 240. So this is amount. And if you check it out, check this amount and this amount that we got here, the same thing. So amount is just to get the total amount that will be on ground. That's not the compound interest. Take note. Note. That's why I'm shouting. Note that amount is equals to note, I want to get compound interest now. Compound interest will be equal to amount minus principal. And that's what we did here. We say amount minus initial principal, because this one we have had like 2 principals. So this one, compound interest, now equals to our compound, our amount is 242,000. Subtract principal is 200,000. Of course, if you subtract it, we have 42,000. It's the same thing with this. So compound interest is very simple, and I will urge you to try to know it very well, master it, solve different questions. If you have questions, can come to the WhatsApp group of 08099540493. This is mainly for what? WhatsApp. So when you come to the WhatsApp me here with the question that relates with compound interest, I think we are going to solve it, since we are still going to meet it in SS2. So do have a nice time from Pythagoras theorem. I am still